Well, guys, today, I took my afternoon nap. My girl came in and she said, "Wake up." She said, "Did you hear about Charlie Kirk?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "He's dead. They killed him." And I said, "No, they didn't kill Charlie Kirk, man." And I went to CNN on the website, and sure enough, they killed bro. Charlie Kirk has a son and a daughter. Has a wife. My mother-in-law came to visit us. And she hung out with us, and it was a wonderful party. And the last thing I said to her, I said, "I love you. I'm going to take care of your daughter. You can go where you need to go." And I never saw her again. And she had just been home, so I had to bring the kids over and explain to them, Grandma Wanda's not coming home. Or you're never going to see her. You never talk to her again. I had just moved down here. I had a fight with my brother. I just moved down here. My older brother called me up. He said, "Yo, Jamie passed." Jamie's my baby brother. Yo, my life ended that day, bro. I'm still... It's my point. I looked at CNN and I saw that happen. Bro, I just cried for like half an hour, bro. I'm still crying, obviously. "31 years old, cut down." Earlier this year, I think it's June 24th, let me be respectful, there is a assassination in Minnesota. I just want to talk about that real quick because I want to hold space. I want to hold space for them too, you know. That's Melissa and Mark Hortman, okay? And they were also victims of political assassination. Somebody broke in their house and killed them. And my point in bringing that up is to say we're in the middle of we're at the beginnings of a civil war in this country. There's a lot of reasons I'm upset and hurt. But the ultimate reason I'm upset is because I feel like this country that I love so much, we're about to let loose on each other and murder each other. Okay? I cried for a half an hour. I got 2 kids at work, so I called them in. And my little one is politically astute, so when he came in, he just crashed on me and we hugged and cried it out again. Here's the thing about me and my son. We don't agree with Charlie Kirk on almost anything. I don't agree with his Israel-Gaza position. I was infuriated when he said Harvard graduate Ketanji Brown Jackson got where she got because of DEI. I was furious when he said if he's on a plane and he sees a black pilot, he's nervous. He lied about us, said we commit 50% of the crimes in America. There's a lot of shit that he said that I can't stand. And same with my little one. But we're both crying. To be honest with you, I don't understand what the hell is wrong with you people. All of these people laughing, bloviating, mocking him. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But then I do get it. Because here's where it's going to get ugly, y'all. A couple, I don't know, about 12 to 15 months ago, all the cool reform kids and all the cool, edgy, far-right whatevers started talking about how empathy is a sin and how being so emotional is a sin at the suffering of other people. And the fact of the matter is, the sad fact of the matter is that Charlie Kirk took part in that culture. There's videos circulating around right now where he's saying that empathy is a made-up word and it's bad and all the rest of it. Jesus talked about the merciful. He said, whatever measure you measure out is what will be given to you. And the horrible irony is that Charlie Kirk contributed to the lack of humanity that his enemies are now expressing. Empathy is not a sin. Empathy is what happened when love interfaces with suffering. There's no passage in the Bible that says blessed are the unmerciful. And little bro said some real merciless shit, I know. But if you can't show any mercy today, then you're that. The entire point of empathy and mercy is that you overlook the frailties of the humanity of the person next to you. I understand. I am not compromising on this because somebody died. I am against a lot of the things that this man stood for. Primarily, the idea that empathy is a made-up word that is dangerous. Okay, people say, oh, well, you can take advantage of empathy. Duh. Duh. I don't know how many Christians are in a room, but I don't know. How many times have you taken advantage of God's empathy? I don't care how left-wing you are. I don't care about none of that. If you can't find it in yourself to overlook his lack of empathy, to give empathy to his children and wife, then we're doomed. That girl from Ukraine did not get stabbed on that bus while everybody sat there and watched because there's too much empathy in our country. You guys were wrong for saying that. And it has gone on into the zeitgeist, and it is perpetuating the slippery slope into absolute oblivion and nihilism in this country. We are at emergency levels of low for empathy. You got Jesse Waters talking about, we need to get vengeance, we need to hold people accountable, they're coming after us. He said, they're coming after us, and then he lists all the people on the right that have been killed, and mentions nothing about the Minnesota Democratic senators that have been killed. So even now, we're still playing politics. This man's body's not even cold yet, and we're using this dude as an icon for whatever ism we want to push and whatever group we want to hate. God help whoever it was. Whatever group of people that is associated with the race of this particular individual or the political whatever of this individual. God help them. God help whoever that is. I believe that Charlie Kirk was a Christian. I don't have any empathy for him. I have jealousy for him. I don't empathize with people who just won the Super Bowl. I truly believe this thing. One of the last things he said, he was quoting 1 Corinthians 15 about the resurrection. And I'm telling you, Charlie Kirk is going to rise from the dead. I promise you that. I believe that. And I believe he's in really good company. And we're in really bad company. I have no empathy for him. But he's got kids that got to have to navigate this world, not only without their dad, but with their dad's assassination online. They're going to be able to see it, and they're going to hear people celebrating it, or making it some point of some debate point.
Or aren't you the kid that...
Or their dad being some icon. Yeah. You got no empathy for that? Why do we need to hear about all the horrible shit Charlie Kirk did and said he's gone, he can't hear you? And Jesus died for all those things. Nah, man, I don't got no empathy for Charlie Kirk, bro. But I got a lot of empathy for his kids and his wife. And I think we need some real leadership in this country, man. We're at some tipping point where we may not be able to recover. Nobody can destroy the United States of America from outside. We are the most powerful country God has ever created on the planet. Nobody's going to destroy this country from outside, but maybe us trudging around the world for the last 20 years, maybe it's catching up to us. He was a fellow human, fellow American, fellow father, fellow Christian.
There's like such a lack of love in people's comments, in the posts, in the... It's like you said, not even seeing his humanity, his family, his children. Ah, man.
Yeah. I said it last night. Here's the last thing I'll say. You know, nobody hears Charlie Kirk, right? None of us are going to get the reach that he does. But I'm telling you guys, be careful about what you're putting out into the ether. Be careful about the words you say. Yep. Be careful.
Mm-hmm. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Like, literally, it's like that. You go out there, and what you say to people, or what people say to you, like, it affects us.
There have been so many times I talk about this, where I'm gonna say something and God says, man, get your hands off the keyboard, bro. Man, get your hands off the keyboard. You don't need to comment on everything. Here's my point, guys. Be diligent about the things that you're saying to other people. Be careful. You don't have to have the last word, and you don't have to escalate the rhetoric. You can disengage. But I'm telling you, this is not some like esoteric thing. There are trillions of bits of data that all of us are accumulating into this big giant pot that goes into the collective psychology.
Yep.
Do you know how it feels to be a father of a black child and see thousands of comments about Trayvon Martin buying the gun for $200,000 that killed him? All the one less off the street, one less off the street, one less off the street. Imagine imbibing that. That's going to change your psychology. So don't indulge in it. Don't consume it, and don't push it out. You know, we got a little club over there on Facebook, and it's a free speech environment. I just immediately blocked and banned someone forever. Didn't even say a word to him. I didn't say a word to him. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore with this crazy, like, we're going to say the worst shit ever. Let's find the edgiest, craziest, hurtful, harmful, racist, sexist, anti-Semitic, already starting, oh, well, you know, Charlie Kirk, he was talking about, you know, he was questioning Israel. So, We don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. We could put something positive into the zeitgeist.
But you have to have a goal, you have to have a mission, because if you don't, then your natural instincts are going to guide how you react in comment sections, what you say to other people. So if you're just going by your whims, you can be running out there for your own ego. You can be saying something because you think it's funny, but you don't actually know how it's affecting the other person. So like that's like love has to be our highest principle. And until we get love as the highest principle, and it is the reason for why we're doing what we're doing. So when you say something to somebody, it's like, okay, so, you know, I'm not saying we should hold back on saying the truth. Like, we should say the truth, but the truth should be said in the most loving way possible. Because secondly, none of us have moved because somebody bullied us or pressured us into moving and changing. Like, we have to be loving to each other as the highest thing. Like this man.
Mm-hmm. And look, I'm seeing some people in comments saying some crazy stuff. I'm not mad at those people. I'm sad for you. Because I'm a broken person. But even I know to cry over this shit. So if you're out in the comments saying all types of crazy stuff, like, you're not upset, you're not... The bro's dead. Damn's already done. But something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. And so, like, when you have an internet that is populated by severely mentally ill people, and I'm not saying that to disrespect mentally ill people, I'm one of them, and you keep putting out all this craziness into the ether, you're going to create people like that lose their humanity. On top of all we don't know what personal... You don't know what personal things that guy is going through to push him to the point where he lost his humanity to where he's a zombie, and he's saying that. Don't be angry at him. Pray for him. But we got a choice. We got a choice to make about how we're going to respond to this and going forward. And when I was a kid, I read the Sermon on the Mount. The Sermon on the Mount was my least favorite chunk of scripture when I was little. I did not understand it. I didn't get it. And to be honest with you, I couldn't live up to it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to hang out in the Old Testament, because if somebody pisses you off in the Old Testament, you can beat them up and, you know, whatever. That's what I thought. I thought, man, all that Sermon on the Mount stuff is for like super duper Christians, like my big brother. The more I look at that collection of passages, the more I realize
It's the only way.
I don't care if you're a Christian or not. Open your Bible and read that thing. Start at Matthew chapter 5. Read all the way down to the end of chapter 7 before you get on the internet. It's the only way. We can digitally turn the other cheek. We can pray for those who are persecuting us. We don't have to buy into the vitriol, but if we don't, all of us are going to lose this country. Empires have risen and fallen. That is the story of human history. The only question is whether or not it's our time. It may be. It may be. And if it is our time, we deserve it. But you know what? God is merciful. We just had this conversation last night, guys. People say, why couldn't God just forgive us? This is why Jesus had to go to the cross, man. You see how bloody that scene was? I haven't watched it, but I heard it was really bloody. Some of you deserve to be taken off the planet just for saying some of the horrible things you're saying. But God is merciful. God is merciful. And he's also empathetic. You know, there's a story over there in the book of Judges, and the children of Israel, they wouldn't listen to God. They wouldn't listen to God. And God said, okay, fine. If you guys want to continue and go off and be that way, I'll leave you into the hands of your persecutors. And they did. And they cried out to God. And so I remember this because I remember reading it and I'm like, well, why are they crying when they're the ones that did it? Here's the passage. It says, so they put away their foreign gods from among them and served the Lord, and he became impatient over the misery of Israel. So they were bad. They did bad things. And they were dealing with the consequences of their bad things, right? And God doesn't say, oh, now you want to turn and do the right thing and cry to me. Now when you're in trouble, deal with it yourself. No, he responded with empathy. It says he became impatient with their misery. In certain passages, KJV says he could bear their misery no longer. And I hope that, I don't care if you're a Christian or not, cry out to God and say, we are miserable and we need you. And hopefully we can instigate Yahweh to be impatient over our misery and he can save our country. You don't need to be a Christian for that to happen, but I will tell you this. I'll tell you this. When Charlie woke up today, he had plans for what he was going to do tomorrow. None of us has forever. You're not going to live forever. I'm not going to live forever, bless God. Very, very soon, all of us are going to be before ultimate reality. This is real. The Jesus Christ that Charlie Kirk preached is real. No historian worth his salt denies that a man named Jesus lived 2,000 years ago. No historian worth his salt denies that he was crucified under Pontius Pilate. No credible historian denies that he was buried. And no credible historian can explain how his movement exploded after his death when other failed messianic movements crumbled. Jesus of Nazareth is the Messiah. He is God in the flesh. And he is the most empathetic, merciful human being you will ever meet. And he's the only hope. Palestine, Israel, America, the world, Charlie Kirk, me, and you. That's it. Blessed are the merciful, for they will obtain mercy. All right, guys. I don't really have much more to say. I say, hey, Adder, how you doing, buddy? I say it all the time. Love your neighbor.